Hi, Tim from Fair Play Now, and we are Monday, the 11th of January 2021. We're several days into the third national lockdown, and one question I've been asked by a few different people now is, how are we going to get out of this? What is our way out of this entire mess that we're in? And one answer that has kind of struck me, and I know other people have been considering it as well, is to basically kind of almost take yourself away from normal society and kind of go away and form a commune somewhere with us and like-minded people, and kind of live, side by side normal society, but on your own land, a little bit like the Amish people in the United States, who seem to have managed it for many years, hundreds of years, or however long they've been doing it. But kind of short and medium term, at least, that's probably not going to be a viable option to do physically. But maybe, just maybe, we could do it kind of in a sort of online way to begin with. Join, or even create, if you've got sort of web skills, your own online little community. You're probably going to have to sort of go back to Web 1.0 outlets rather than Web 2.0. I mean, if you don't know what the difference is, basically Web 1.0 is all the initial or original internet stuff, websites and email basically, and Web 2.0 is what they call all the social media. Well, we know how much social media likes to censor people they don't agree with and to sort of take their voice away from them. But the good thing about Web 1.0 stuff, sort of not all email providers, but most of them, and again, not all web hosting and domain name providers, but most of them don't really censor you, purely and simply because there's so much sort of competition in those realms that, if one of them kind of plays up and says, we're not going to allow you to use our sort of platforms anymore, you can just go on to the next one, and then the next one. And if you constantly kind of back up your site and your email list with the providers, which can be done easily enough, you can sort of, when you do get taken down by one platform, you can just take all your stuff on your backup to another hosting company or another email provider and upload the backups, and you can be back up and running on a new platform, back in touch with all your your sort of online community back in the same day. So that may well be something to consider. I would quite like to set up my own little forum, and it could sort of be, I don't know if you're ever a member of a forum back in the day when that was a thing to do, but there's basically a website where people can go on and interact and everything. I'm sure you've been a member of those. And I'd have to find out how you set up one of those. I don't think it's too hard, but I'm not the most technically minded person in the world. Well, not as far as internet and computer stuff is concerned anyway. But I know you can get people to set that sort of stuff up for you for not huge amounts of money in this day and age. So that might be a route. Or if you're not quite so technical savvy, it might be a question of setting up your own, not setting up your own thing, joining someone else's And the lady who has been doing this recently, I think she's been going a few months, but I only came across her literally last week, and it's a lady called Rachel Elnor. That's spelled Elnaugh, and she's actually the original lady on Dragon's Den many years ago. But she's kind of become a little bit more spiritual, and she's set up this new thing. So you can go to her website, which is just rachelelnor.com, and subscribe to her, and then she'll send you emails to these sort of regular Zoom meetings. And I haven't sort of had a chance to actually get on one yet because and to say my piece, because they always seem to be around midday and I'm always out working at that time. But if you can get on midday, she'll sort of she goes around the group and hopefully give you time to or come to you and give you a little bit of time to speak. So she's a little bit like Anna Breeze in that regard, providing a platform for like-minded people to speak on. I think she's also talking about creating a forum where you can just go on there anytime and talk to fellow members. And I think just forming an online community, and it's going to do your mental health good to start with, knowing that there's a lot of like-minded people out there sharing ideas, sharing sort of tactics, how we can sort of go forward from this. And if you can sort of form a big enough community online, maybe the next stage would be to sort of form local chapters where you can go out and meet up with other members, and hopefully at some stage be able to sort of meet up in pubs and for a night out, or to sort of sit down and discuss ideas, or around at each other's houses. Hopefully that'll be on the cards again at some point. And then maybe once a group sort of gets big enough, maybe some people will decide to do the physical thing, crowdfund enough resources to be able to go out and buy a fair bit of land somewhere, which can be settled and sort of built upon. Probably a bit tricky to do that in this country, in the UK, but I know there's quite a lot of countries out there where you can just sort of buy a few hundred acres of land for not huge amounts of money, probably the same amount of money as it'd cost you just buy a terraced house in London, I should think. And then perhaps begin a new community there, but that's not going to be an overnight thing by any stretch of the imagination. So I think going the online way could well be something worth considering. So if you want a way out, or at least something to give you a bit of hope, and I really do think that might be a possibility. And I can recommend this Rachel Elnor. I'll leave a link to her sort of site in the comments section below. And she might not be for everybody. I mean, it's kind of quite spiritual. There's a bit of, I think her sort of spirituality is kind of Far Eastern religions, basically, but not that she sort of is over the top with it and forces it down your sort of throat or anything, but it's all done in a very nice sort of gentle way. And I never thought I was really a spiritual person before, but in this last year, just so much has happened that quite honestly everything is on the table now, including spirituality and religion and all the rest of it. And I'm kind of really coming to the sort of thinking now that it really doesn't do to not have a spiritual side, because if that's the case, you open yourself up to all sorts of bad things, which I never really appreciated before. But anyway, I won't go too much into that. That might be a topic for another video in the next few days, actually. But as far as today's concerned, I think I'll leave it there for now. I think this kind of forming or joining an online community is perhaps a good idea. So that's food for thought. So Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.